with dates.
What is sutun kondron kumala sutun kan fa isila lalun karawnya ya damuda damen isa fono nya bangani lungol nya ninga ray hakilo samuda no
nga kumas jamanjel
I started at the Jambanjeli.
Botaje ndada Gunjur in 1985.
I went to Gunjur in 1985.
Gunjur Secondary Technical School.
It was the Gunjur Secondary Technical School.
Up to 1989.
I was there up to 1989.
Thereafter, did you further your education?
Okola fo inarnal alondi la fa fanan kele kotanke ba
Ani man now chance to know.
I didn't get the chance to follow my education.
Thank you very much.
inu barabaga
Now this question is directed to the third person. Can you please kindly tell the commission your names
Nyinin
and
kardo
when and where you were born?
nyinin kardo bita mo sabanda nyon nyinne ya fa to ini konton fono nye bang ani wuluta sanjumala ndi wuluta mintole fana
My name is Sekou Bayo. I was born in Jambanjeli
1954.
in 1954.
Do you have any formal education?
abu kana fa ya kele bang
No.
No, I didn't go to school.
Thank you very much.
inu barabaga
Mr. Bayo, can you kindly tell us what you do for a living?
Mr. Bayo fa isa fono nya ikamuneke ikabalu menna bang
Them farmer lady.
I am a farmer.
How about you, Mr. Dabo?
Mr. Dabo dum Lamin Dabo
Ante Kabenjira school nga doko start janale Gambega.
When I left school,
Coca-Cola company.
I started working for a white man's company called Gambega.
How about you, Mr. Samba? Can you tell us what you do for a living?
Mr. Samba no ita fana dum ikabalu munala ikamuna doko ke kabalu menna
Yes, 1982 ndunta nung police le.
In the year of 1982, I joined the police department,
Gambia Police Force.
the Gambia Police Force.
1987 mfama ya mbondije.
In 1987, my father decided to withdraw me from the police force.
Ngata ala business okono.
He told me to go and join him in his business.
Bewo business ole kono for sani.
That's the business I continue doing up to now.
This question goes to all of you. You may indicate by raising your hand if you wish to answer. Is there anyone among you who serves in the Village Development Committee?
nyinin kardo bita mo bele ka nga kono fanundi le wala nyinti ko altol mo sabol nyimbe kono fo mo balu kono le me yalon ko ay do ko ke sa tewla yirwande kafo nyindo bang ikaf me VDC
Yes, Mr. Samba?
Yes,
Ntalamu VDC la Public Relations Officer presently.
presently I am the public relations officer of the VDC.
For how long have you served your Village Development Committee?
itardo sa tewla yirwande kafo nyindo fo wati jelu
Every 4 years nka changes kele but nga serving ke Village Development Committee kono with different subsequent VDCs.
Every 4 years there are changes, but I have served the VDC with different groups, committees which are part of the VDC.
Can you tell us the year you first started serving your community in the Village Development Committee?
silam fay sa fono commission e sanju malam ya damuta pour ka do ko ke Allah sa tewla yirwande kafo committee on nyi ba
1982.
It was in 1982.
So since 1982, you have been an active member of the Village Development Committee. Is that correct?
What would dolum come for nyole for a period ngana murundang.
Well, sometimes I take leave of the committee and rest for a period, and later on I'll come back to the committee.
Mr. Dabo, can you kindly tell us about an incident that occurred in Jambanjeli on the 14th of December 2004.
Fo isa fono misa dabo isa fono commission e bang ko la mialon ko wala ketta jambanjeli sa do kono December karo tiltang anin nani 2004 son kono.
Ñinin karo la sinna bara man ken defa nyala je bari butu ngami moy yemi fonye.
Well, I was not present during when the incident took place, but what I heard from people, what they narrated to me,
wala ñindi ko nawek nim parale nata je.
they said that NAWEC, workers from NAWEC came there with members of the paramilitary force.
Ko nata bolo ñinne wutuje.
They said they came there to remove the borehole from the village.
Pour ka samba la do damin masoto.
They want to take it to another place where there are no boreholes or who are not having a borehole.
Man tarije ñame malo mi complice sabu so problem started jailed.
I was not there. I don't know what sparked the problem, but that's where the problem itself started.
Mr. Samba, since you have served in the Village Development Committee since 1982, that is on and off.
Mr. Samba tumala men na ite do ko ke sa te wala yirwandi committee on nyindo kabrin 1982 son kono.
Can you kindly tell us the history of this community borehole?
Fo isi tariko me alon ko wala bette sujiri nyim sa te wala nyim boholo nyinna ba fo isa tariko nyim fono nyamba.
Yes, I can narrate some of the history. This borehole, it was during the days or the rule of President Jawara that this borehole was brought to Jambanjeli.
Kumasta ning nisi mindi kolongolella ya kenung purka nisol mindi je inata pompi lulu ke boholo balaje pur molse munafeng wala fanang. Initially,
it was put there just for cattle. It was a cattle drinking point. That's how it started. But later on, they decided to install 5 standpipes there for people of the village to be able to get water from those standpipes. Then there came a time when the standpipes developed a problem. Then at that time there were many people living in the village, and a villager was working at the water resources department. And another project came to the village.
Another water resources in
and this project was brought to the village by the Department of the Water Resources.
Inata ye pompi kuto keje, ye tanki do keje, inata pipeol fe purunga sate okono nga dinkol sing ngesare.
When this new project came to the village, they brought in a new standpipe, and a new tank was installed for the village, and later on they brought in pipes so that these pipes will be laid so that water will be distributed in the whole village.
Pompo kabiringa nga kumasi ka doku ay sanji woro la fo sile.
When we start
mba ayus kang sate okono.
When we installed these taps, it went up to 6, 7, up to 8 years when we were using those standpipes.
Initially nga kenu nyame ngole mu kabiring nga pompi nga pipeol sing watu minangi sare sate okono momo lafta dundile la suo kono eka kemele jo kari wo kari.
Initially, when we were installing those standpipes, anyone who wants to have a standpipe in your compound, you pay $100, and we will lay down the pipes which will lead to your compound for you to have your own standpipe inside your compound.
Apart from the $100 contribution towards having a standpipe in each individual compound,
ninga bota yin dalasi ke mola kunkile na kunkila kam na kamenjo puru isaje si jio saba nang ila korda nyin kono.
Did the community make any other contribution towards this particular borehole project?
sate mol nying fo ika kafun gandaw do fanan kele bang puru nyim boholo la kula bang
kantung korda o korda pompo be da men kari wo kari ika kemo min jo water committee le ka kafu nyoma.
Yes, because every month, every compound has to pay $100. Those who had standpipes in their compound. Then there was a water committee who will collect that money.
Ika samba every year amount bijele ika ming samba water resources ikata joje.
Every year there is an amount which they take to the water resources department and pay that amount to the department.
Iko puru maintenance fee.
And that's for the maintenance fee.
Wo tatale fo ay sanji jamasi.
That went on for many years.
Exactly nta fono la sanji jeldem kantung awato metale.
It was a long time, so this is why I cannot say how many years it took.
Bari lundo sotota water resources la mol fango nata je meeting wala.
But there was a day when workers from the water resources department came there to have a meeting at the village.
Inata itandina ko alie mingjo nyimpompo to sanyi nyimpompo mal taleti.
Then they explained to the villagers that the amount that you have paid on this water project now, these standpipes belong to you.
Owato mbije fo ya jamme tilo nata.
We stayed there like that until when Yaya Jammeh took over the country.
Sando sotota anata je meeting wala.
One year he came to have a meeting at the village.
Sate mol bawo jio buka mol si sate o karakili ngo dammale ka jio soto mobe buka soto.
And this water was not enough for the whole village. It's only half of the village who usually get water, but the other half of the village lack water from this project.
Mol nata dani o meeting dulato ko ningse bohol flanjango soto no.
Then people appealed to him at the meeting place. The villagers appealed to him so that we can have a second borehole.
O watole inata project do fanam fe e borehole flanjango lo.
This was the time when they brought in another project to install a second borehole.
Abri o borehole flanjango lo.
Akoye lamoy ayabulo wulindi yenne.
My apologies.
Bekara jubelale na ayabulo wulindi tendorong wala mnyinti ko ilamoy.
Okay.
My apologies to you, Mr. Samba.
Mr. Samba,
I should have mentioned that earlier in my introduction.
Akanyanta fole nunun komanto wato mengabe kachada mutalali.
I just wanted the others also to contribute to the narrative.
Alaftale purudolu fanali fem fo nyin kumakangoluto ebe meng fo kanteng.
Mr. Bayo.
Mr. Bayo.
What kind of meeting did the committee approach Yaya Jammeh in and ask for another borehole?
Mum meeting sifalem sate moli Yaya Jammeh walim men ka dani puru ay dema puru ye bohol fulanyon soto.
Kabira nata Jambanjeli meeting ola.
When he came to Jambanjeli for a meeting,
Kayin boholo mimbijama abika mobe staff no.
he was given the information that this borehole which is existing here doesn't serve the whole village.
Another mole promise ko abe fulanjango sinna.
He promised the villagers that he will bring in a second borehole.
My question was actually, what kind of meeting was it? Was it an official meeting, a government meeting, or was it a political rally?
Ako aka nyininkaro men nyininka meeting woni be woni ngana ram ben sifa nyaadi laje fo anata political rally meeting wala bang fo nyi masakundu comme ruaya kanindro men kabula nyana ka menke ba nyana wala nata wala fa anata political meeting wala.
Another political meeting ola.
He came there for a political rally.
So, when the villagers approached the president to build another borehole at the village in order to ensure that everyone has access to water, it was done.
Amunta birin sate mol nyi wosita e nyatiling am president on nyina wosita pour ay dema pour sate aussi pompe bohol fulanya on so saje mol si jiosoro a sonayari ngo.
Yes.
Yes.
After building another borehole for the village, what then happened?
biring ina tana bohol fulanjaw nyin sing sate molie muna natana ke
kabiri wo sinta
When that borehole was installed,
lundo
one day,
ko Paul Gomes na MP
they said that our member of parliament, Paul Gomez,
inata na alkalo ya
they came to the alkali
ko coming bohol kuto soto
and informed him that now we have got a new borehole.
so all one e bo utula ya samba dulado to dami ya lonko ol masoto
They will now dismantle the old one and take it to another village, whereby that village also will have their own borehole, and it will be a village where there is no borehole.
ntolnga je ko
Then we realized that
na koto ma wala bete adan tulfe o kutamati
that old borehole, in fact, was better than the new one which was installed.
Mr. Baj, sorry, I'm getting a bit.
Mr.
Mr. Dabo,
Mr. Dabo
can you tell us how the committee determined the effectiveness of the new borehole against the old one?
sidang Mr. Dabo fo isa fo no nye sate mol nying wol ya lonno e faye nyaadi le bohol koto ma nying wala bete ya daga tambi nying boso bohol kutama nyin
bohol koto
Yes, the old borehole
wole sembo soto kutama nyindi
happens to be more powerful than the new one.
according to ngamoy nawek staff wala nyami
As I heard the NAWEC staff saying,
ko nyin koto ma wole sembo soto alla nyin kutamati
they informed us that the old one is more powerful than the new one.
re balam fonketa damindo ni aje mol balanta pour ka koto ma samba
But where this resistance came, resisting that the old one should not be removed,
o kabringa kilin soto abika sate be saf
it was when we had that one borehole, it was not able to serve the whole village.
wala nan sura da fulanya wala min satina sate be asoto non
This is why we needed a second one, so that the whole village can have pipe water.
Mr. Sambo, what was the reaction of the alcalde and the village leaders when they were told that the government wanted to remove the old borehole and transfer it to another community?
Mr. Samba silang muna natana ke sate alkalo ni sate alfalla lontang kanguti biring inata ko be koto bohol koto ni ba sambala ya samba sate do muna natana ke alkalo ni sate ke balla lontang kanguti
biring inata iko ebe boholo nyi wutulale ka samba.
When they came, they said they are going to dismantle the old borehole and take it away.
Reaction was started youths nyolella.
The reaction started with the youths.
Because before ining alkalo be meeting okela inata le directly boholo to iko muli taraje eba wutukan.
Well, when they came, they didn't go to the alkali. They just went straight to the borehole and started the dismantling of the borehole.
Are you telling the commission that prior to the meeting with the alcalde, they had come directly to the borehole and wanted to remove it without the consent of the alcalde and the members of the community?
mun day lafta kamen faw nyin commission e ja wala nyindi ko nyim mol biritol nata pour kata nyim boholo nyi wudu e manta fam pour kata e diam alkalo ya nin sate alfalie e tatal dron boholo nyi be dame to pour kata ka boholo nyi wudu e lafta ka wala fa commission
Yes.
And how did the youths react to this?
silang funding kel nyi wumna natana ke wala tamandirlu siloti ye muneta
Biring funding kel ye jeje drong.
When the youths,
Inata ye confront.
when the youths of the village found them there or saw them there dismantling the borehole, they came to them there at the venue and immediately confronted them.
Biri tata
So when they left,
muntata alkalo ya.
we went to the alkali.
Alkalo nyininka.
We asked the alkali.
Alkalo ka makalamuta.
The alkali said he was not even aware of it.
Can you tell us the people that came to remove the borehole?
isa fo no commission e jumale keta nyi multi menu nata kanyim bohol koto nyin ka wutu
nawek la staff slem
There were staff of the NAWEC with some...
paral, but paral man siya mo dantan nemo in England rovale fango nataji.
The NAWEC staff came there with some paramilitary officers, but the paramilitary officers were not many. They came there, in fact, with one vehicle, a Land Rover.
Biring nga alkalo nyininka ako ama kalamuta.
When we asked the alkali and he said he was not aware of it,
nata sate meeting osoto.
Then we called for a village meeting.
A task force select.
We selected a task force.
Task force
and me personally, I was a member of the task force.
The first port of call was to the chief, Ajay Jani.
Our first port of call, we went to the chief. By then, it was Ajay Jani.
Atara Atlantic Hotel lafang otumo abedo ko laje.
We went to meet him at the Atlantic Hotel where he was walking.
And kumolbe explain aye.
And then we explained the whole matter to him. Ajay said to us,
Momo nata je.
Any person who comes there and wanted to remove that borehole, don't allow them.
Did the chief tell you the reason why you must resist any individual that comes to remove the borehole from the village?
Sefo nyi memu nyi aje janete fo ay dalilo fali ne ban dalilo me asabu ninga tara momo nata sato nyi kona lafta kanyim borehole nyi wuduje pour aller balam fo ay dalilo fali ne ban
jero kabiringa na kumol faye nyinul nata nyamin imam futa alkalo ya nga alkalo nyininka alkalo ko ama kalamuta.
When we explained to him how these people came to the village, they didn't go to the alkali, and we went to the alkali to ask him, and the alkali said he was not even aware of these people coming there.
Konye ko niwo keta wole keta kany woto momo nataji alkanaso.
And the chief said, if that is the way they acted, then anyone who comes there, don't allow them to touch the borehole.
So for the mere fact that they did not seek permission from the alkali before coming to remove the borehole, that was why the chief told you that anyone that comes to the place, you must resist.
Munda nyindali lo kang wole munyindi ko nyinkamala ko tumala menna menu na raje kana boholo nyi wudu manta alkalo nyi ya menke wodali lo la sawu sefo kale ko wor ning adra walam momo na raje kapru kanyi bohol ko nyi wudu alkana son.
Yes.
Abirimbota sefo ya.
When we left the chief,
Tata Paul ya.
We went to Paul, our member of parliament. We met him at Kunkujang. When we narrated the whole story to him, he told us right now, at this moment, don't allow anybody to remove that borehole from there. But I will also make inquiries about the whole matter.
Tata Ministry of Water Resources in the Department of Banjul.
When we left the Member of Parliament's place, we went to the Ministry of Water Resources. We went to the department itself in Banjul. We found the director there and explained the matter to him. He said to us, okay, we will look into this matter.
Tata APRC la political bureau otumo Adama Cham sabijin kolemu abije.
So after that, we didn't end there. We went to the APRC's political bureau. At that time, there was somebody from Sukuta called Adama Cham who was working at the political bureau there.
Na mitaje ngabe explain aye.
We had a meeting with him and explained the whole matter to him too.
Konye okay alta mbinajele.
He said to us, okay, go, but we will come there.
Bring Ntolbotaje Nata ate Adamacham, aning Sefo, aning Paul, your delegation of form in Ata Sate Auto meeting.
So when we went back home, Adamacham plus the Member of Parliament, Paul, plus the chief, they formed a delegation and came to the village for a meeting.
Is that the meeting that Mr. Bayo was telling us about.
fo le bengote me yalon ko Mr. Bayo ka wala ko mo fo mole ba
political meeting o mingi ya lon ko moli pompo dani ya jamme bulu ani nying meeting o mankeli nyindongo nyinule delegation of form pour kana specially pour about nyimbo holo la ko
The rally, the political rally which took place in the village was where we appealed to the president to bring a second borehole for us into the village. That meeting is quite different from this one. This one is a meeting where Adam Acham, the member of parliament, the chief, where they came to the village and had a meeting with us.
Mr. Bayot also did mention that the chief and the member of parliament, Mr. Paul Gomez, had come to the village. Mr. Bayo, was that the meeting you were referring to?
meeting
Yes. Yeah, that's meeting alone.
meeting
Yes, that was the meeting.
Mr. Bayo, can you kindly confirm if that was the meeting you're referring to?
Mr. Bayo be o meeting on laba
Political rally.
The meeting where the meeting that he just explained, where the member of
meeting o me yalon ko la député ni ma be
and the
tan
chief
anala
came to the
safe
village.
Yes.
Yes. Meeting killing alone.
Thank you very
meeting
much.
wala.
Yes, that's the same meeting.
numbara wage
So after the meeting with the chief and the member of parliament, what came out of that meeting?
biri nyimbe ngo
That's to you,
botala
Mr. Samba, since you were serving in the VDC.
Mr. Samba biri nyimbe ngo botala alning alla député men sono alla la CFO mona nata na finti o bengo nyin kono akola
kabiri nata yenyine itandi ko president ko ise nyimbo holo wutu ya Samba dula do to dolle bije joka du kono imang bo holo soto e ba Samba la je.
When these people came, the information they gave us was that the president said that that borehole should be dismantled and removed, and they are going to take it to somewhere in Jokadu because there is a place in Jokadu who are also in need of water.
Nata itandi la ko bawo abe wole nyama.
Then
Antoli boholo min natin toli alwota. Ali min tarambulo ali otumbulo.
Then we explained to them that, okay, the borehole that you brought, the new one, remove that one and take it away. But as for this old borehole, leave that one because you found that one here. Leave that one with us.
Did you know at that time that the government also has a duty to distribute development among communities?
bari fo ñi lonne ko wato la mansa kunda fanan amuy kal lon kundu dunolde pour ka je ko yiri wal ñing ka janjandi be sidlal beto mol kam
wose kenole.
Yes,
mansala do ko wolem.
Yes, that can happen because that's the job of the government.
Wala yatin na kabiri boto meeting wala ntol nga delegation do form tata banjun ila mayor mimbe nunji wo fana mo member of the political bureau leti.
This is why after that meeting we formed another delegation and went to Banjul to meet the mayor who was also a member of that political organization.
Nga yetandala ko alla pompi kuto alwota ndolla pompi koto alwotumbulo.
We explained the same thing to him. The new borehole that you brought to the village, remove that one and take it to the place that you want the borehole. But the old one which was serving us before, leave that one with us. Because at that time what we realized, because we realized that the old one is what we know, that's the one we understand. So if they remove the old one there and leave this new one, which in fact if it develops a problem, we are the people who are going to suffer.
Did anyone during that period from Water Resources come to the village to explain the reason why it was necessary to remove this other borehole? Assure you that the new borehole will work as effectively as the old one?
Most of the me alongo asibo dingira bunda me alongo be marling nema jiwo Kenya la banko kanjang mem Water Resource di kana sato kono kala mani yandi nyinno ko ala bularo e koto manyi samba nyin kuta manyi mem fana mbejang abe tamala ko nyin dobe no nyaabe jiwo di la nyama fo so dala ba
lungo minna Paul ning Adama Cham ning sefo ibinala ini water resources la dukulal natale.
The day that Adama Cham plus our member of parliament, Paul Gomez, came there with the chief, they came with people who are working at the water resources. They came with staff from the water resources department.
Ika nyiming foteng ye ofo nyele barin tolman laola nko yenna kotoma tumbulu dron.
What you just said, they explained the same thing to us. But we said no. As far as the old one is the one that we are used to, leave that one with us here. Remove the new one and take it away.
Mr. Dabo, as a community member, did you share that same sentiment that you would prefer the old borehole to the new one that was built?
Mr. Dawa ifanang fa ifanang sonta o hamira ku mira sifa kilingol laba wala nyindi ko ifanang kuta koto mamen beje ibe wala tala kuta mamen yemen nat yo samba
sonna wala ba mo emil long ikala wala.
Yes, that's what I also supported, because the old one is the one we knew. So as far as that is the one that we are used to, so that's the one I support.
Pare na do kula na ta fonya mi alon ko be ji do ko la kona.
And the staff of NAWEC, who were workers responsible for this water, they also explained to me. He told us that this old borehole is more powerful than this new one. That became the reason why the villagers refused for the old one to be taken away. So this is why the villagers insisted that let them remove the new one and take it away and leave the old one with us.
Samba, you told us that you did report to the National Assembly member and Water Resources, and they told you that they will get back to you.
Mr. Samba ye mfumole janko ya kunyinda ya bole ala dipito nyiya aning alla bundala me alanko wala male ne majiyo la iko be murle ne ikannan.
Did they get back to you on what you requested from them?
Fo inarna muri kannan ne bang kuma kan wala me alanko ye wala kan yibulu bang Mr. Samba.
Paul Carola de memuna dipiteti kabiring natalata for lungu binne nata meeting wala de ngaje.
As for our member of parliament, Paul, the day we met him to give him this information was the last time I saw him until the day they came for this meeting.
Andung kabirim bota banjunu fanang wo meyo ya meeting wala nata tilisabadrong ay wale soto.
And when we went to meet the mayor in Banjul, when we returned, it took only 3 days.
Nata information o soto ko paral be birkamale ibe pare kam pour kana kelola jang.
Then that's the time when we were informed that a paramilitary unit is preparing, they are in Brikama and they are preparing to come and attack the village.
Can you tell us the name of the mayor you went to see in Banjul?
Why is that for no commission way? Jumala ni mayor di altata menje Banjul sada kono.
I'm very sorry ntengi nata wotola le. Bari ngalon ne ko military role mnu yake mayoti abota je yake minister of interior.
I'm sorry, I forgot the person's name, but I knew that he was one time a soldier. Afterwards, he became a mayor, and later on he was once made a minister of interior.
Labanta Dakar le ambassador yala.
His last posting was in Dakar as the ambassador for the Gambia.
Kabiringa information o soto ko paral bina kanne.
When we got this information that the paramilitaries are preparing to come,
Besiring ngadata nyokang dula killing ninna task force mall.
so we decided to come together, myself and members of the task force. We met at one place
Purunga jube nyanta mong approach le tala.
to discuss and see which approach we are going to take.
Baringalong ko iparere ngole natang kama.
But I know that they were prepared, they had enough preparations for us.
Antung kabiring ibota birkama itambita korda dole la first compound Jambanjeli.
Because when they left Brikama and came, they passed the first compound in Jambanjeli.
Mobiji ming nata ay information o dinna ko paral fele tambita I hainang Arab school oto ibe parekang.
somebody from that compound came and informed us that the paramilitary unit has arrived and they have gone to the Arab school where they are preparing.
Arab school o nying be silole kang ni bota Arab school o te kata kabur ko ni bota woto drong e kata boholo nyimnato.
The Arab school is on the way. From there you go to the cemetery, and after the cemetery then you go to the borehole.
Ntol fanam bota mbe sirinda meng mbinakam.
We also decided to leave where we were sitting down and we started walking.
Doben kono atata ay tabulo kosi.
Someone among us left and went to beat the village drum, which calls people for a meeting.
Yes. Kabiring binakang ntelebe molbe nyato.
In fact, when we were going, I was leading, I was in front.
Bari ntengambulo le wulindi.
I raised up my hands
Wato minam binakam.
when I was coming.
But all of a sudden, because paral ning ibe nung ibe riot gias le kono ye helmetol le dung kaskol for duma.
When the paramilitary people wore helmets and they in fact wore riot gear, they were well prepared.
Ngaje para kilim funtite kono rong alota ay tiagas ofay.
We saw one para who just went out of the group. He stood and threw tear gas.
Abra tear gas ofay. Tear gas o tambitan tol kunala jolonta dami wol janjanta.
The tear gas passed over us and fell behind us. But people who were around that vicinity also dispersed immediately. I have blown in the end.
Mr. Bayo?
Mr. Bayo?
Can you kindly tell us where you were when they sounded the village drum to call people?
Ebe no minto la biring yenyi sate tabulo nyin kumandi puru ka mol kafundu nyoma.
Wado mbena kangangoto.
I was at my farm.
And when you heard this sound, what happened?
Biring yenyi sate tabulo nyin moy munaketa.
Nada na.
I came.
Niyo mwe sate to isalamandia.
Whenever you hear that drum in the village, you will know that something significant has happened.
What did you see upon your arrival at the village?
Ite munaje birina na fuda sata o nyin kono.
Nada na ko pompo nkamim for ko iba udulale.
When I came, I got this information that these people came to dismantle the borehole.
And these people you're referring to, I assume that they are the paramilitary officers, correct?
Ibe mol men nok mo foga nga mira ko wolle mpara de kodi.
Paralwa.
Yes, they are the paramilitary.
Can you tell us what the paras were doing and what the community members were doing at that point when you met them there?
Isa fo no commission e birite nata ya tara nyim para le be munake kan anu sate mul fana be munake kan biri furata dingira nyin toje.
Push and pull.
It was a push and pull.
Mr. Samba just informed us that a tear gas was fired into the crowd.
Mr. Samba nyin fo jang sainte amamme ko ye tiaga so fay jama kono.
Did you
Tiaga so
arrive?
fire.
Yeah,
Manke killing a manke fla.
in fact, it was not one, it was not two. They threw tear gas amongst us.
By the time you arrived,
Wato men ite futata.
Janinte ka futanga tiaga so le follow moy.
Before arriving at the scene itself, I first heard the sound of tear gas.
so Mr. Samba, you were the first person that had that interaction with the PIU officers, correct?
Oda muta Mr. Samba itele kita mo follow te me alongo itele ni para le se nyolo soto.
Akantun talanga crowd ning lead.
Yes, because I was leading the crowd.
Bari kabiri ye tear gas o fay.
But when they decided to throw this tear gas,
Ngambulo wulindi ntamang lode.
I didn't stop.
Santo.
I still raised up my hands higher, but I continued walking.
Was there any form of commotion before they fired tear gas into the crowd?
Janni be nyin tiaga so nyin fayla fo nyo saba mulungo sotote ta malte ma alda
Mamfuta nyola fang.
In fact, we didn't even reach each other before.
Almost 100 meters bente male.
In fact, it was almost 100 meters between us and where the paramilitary were standing.
Wala nanko ipareta nkamale.
This is why I said they came prepared to attack.
Did the crowd do anything to provoke the paramilitary officers at that point
Oh,
before the tear gas was fired?
Jamani sate mol nyin foye kukela ba me alon ko be je para nyin kamfandi la ba jandingi be tiaga so nyin fayle kan.
Not to my knowledge.
No, I wasn't aware, not to my knowledge.
Am fudana londor.
Did the paramilitary officers try to engage the crowd before they fired the tear gas into the crowd?
Fo para nyin ye nyin hamo sotale no bam puru inin sate mol nyin ye ni ye nyomo folo ba janni be nyin tiaga so tala ka fay fo nyokon.
Hani.
No,
Andong temimbe nyato ning diamo bekela diamo nyanta kelantele.
because I was leading the whole crowd. I was in front. If there was going to be any talk or discussion, it will start with me who was in front.
In fact, akabiring ye tia gas fulanjango fay ye sabanjango fay.
In fact,
Otumo sati okay.
after they threw the first, second, and the third tear gas,
Wotumo molbotana sati karadola.
that was the time when people came, started arriving from the other parts of the village.
Otole fondinkiel kumasta ka berol mimbe sila dala tombon ka paralbum.
That was the time the youth of the village decided to pick stones which were around the roadside and started stoning the paramilitary officers.
Why didn't you disperse the crowd after the paramilitary officers fired tear gas?
Mune ya sabu ita man jama'an yin ta ye janjandi tumala men wato min para le yin gaso ta ya fai ya gaso.
Ntete mol janjandi no la wo wato kantung mol botanan karo bella. Ndebe karakelinne modol be karadola dol be karadola.
I was standing at one point. So people were approaching from all directions. So it will be impossible for me to stop or to disperse the crowd at that moment.
Can you tell us, Mr. Bayo, what you did when you arrived at that moment when tear gas was being fired into the crowd?
Mr. Bayo, if I saw no commission ite muneke biri futa jama'an yin be damendo tiya gaso fai damendo ite muneke.
Kabirinda futata ngatara push and pull bekering.
When I arrived at the scene and I met this push and pull going on,
Gale tia gas fay, nyunibe bero fay la.
by that time the paramilitary had already released these tear gas canisters into the crowd, and the youths were also throwing stones at them.
Sa in crowd be dunta nyotole mobuka understand mune bekering.
And it was a total mix-up. Nobody understood what was going on.
Paral fanan kabire oje.
When the para realized that,
Alonko population o min kana wel sembuarte di murunda.
they realized that the population, the people who are coming out against them are more than them, that's the time when they decided to retreat.
O murungo minke.
So when they retreated,
Man say de.
they didn't go away.
Dada enforcement in soldier role.
They decided to call in reinforcements who were soldiers.
Can you tell us roughly how many paramilitary officers were there?
Isa fono nya isa yirkano la bang para military jelle benun jeru.
Siatale.
There were many.
Wato mote continue la because wanya man soto.
At that time, nobody can count them because there will be no time to count.
Mr. Samba, you saw them come in, but that's before the riot, the protest happened.
Mr. Samba ite jelle biri bina kan nan janni nyim balambaya be sor la ni alnite ma kodi.
Yes.
Can you tell us roughly how many paramilitary officers arrived in the village at that point?
Isa fono nyewa ila yirkaroto mu para jelle futata o dingira nyindo sa toto je.
Siata le kantung ye troko fandina ne anim pick up fula.
Well, there were many. A truck was filled and two pickup vehicles.
And Mr. Dabo, the crowd was able to push the paramilitary officers out because there were a lot of people coming to join you.
Mr. Dabo amundala ko jamani sate mol nyin wol natana para nyin nate ganyele kadu nyin kamala ko biri yaje sate mol nyin be finti kan nan ron.
Yes.
Because kabiri molye birol fay.
Because it was said that when the youth started throwing stones at the paramilitary officers,
bero ka para dolma so wala ne murunda follow.
And some para members were stoned and they decided to retreat.
O time ole ko itate soldier ol command now.
That was the time when they called in reinforcements and soldiers were called to come in.
Were you present when all this was going on in the village?
Fobe ma beru nenu bang biri nyim ko nyim bebe tama kan sato nyin kono ba.
Ya fanya nyaminde ko nka fole nyam.
No, it was narrated to me. That's how I'm also narrating it.
So you were not present at the time this particular incident occurred?
Amunda ite mandra ma beru nu biri nyim ko nyim be kela.
No, I was not there.
Mr. Samba, can you tell us what happened after they pushed the paramilitary officers out and the reinforcement came in?
Mr. Samba, for isa fono commission e muna nata nake biri ye nyim para sate mol nyi para nyi nyori ifindita bari para nyi fana murundan ko makara sembo tana wolem kara soja rol tana ke kafundang.
Kabiring paral tata.
When the para retreated,
Mbijele after 30 minutes.
we were there till after 30 minutes.
Ngaje soja roll ning moto nata.
We saw the soldiers came in with their vehicle.
Wolfanang moto ndingo be nyato.
They also came, there was a small vehicle in front.
Moto baba akoma.
And a truck was following this small vehicle.
Kabiri nata ijita.
When they came and alighted from these vehicles,
Imandiamu moyefang ikole rong aljanjang.
they didn't talk to anybody. What they said was, disperse.
Umakan kilim fula sabanjango drong. Ila nyaton ko nyapita kido kang dobulu aya faimano kang.
Then after they said to the people to disperse once, twice, after the third one, their leader took a gun from one of them and threw it on the tarmac.
Shot.
I have file a for.
Ay kido fire aya fire.
Okay, he fired the gun
Manokang.
on the road.
Kabira aya fire manokang kesol ming boita manokang inata reflect e mona ni baramang molkono.
After he fired on the ground, the bullets ricocheted. And that bullets decided, and those bullets struck some people, up to 4 people who were wounded with those ricochets.
Can you tell us if the bullet used that particular day were live ammunition?
Oh, isa fono commission ba wolungo nyingo soja ro yi muna fango kesol men na fo kese tonya le ba mem kese sobel de men kamo fa.
Life ammunition on them. Kantu na manke life ammunition oti tenung ate mol baramala.
They were live ammunition. Had they not been live ammunition, they wouldn't have wounded the people.
Mr. Bayo?
Mr. Bayo?
Can you kindly tell us where you were at this point when the soldiers arrived?
Isa fono nyabang ita benu minto le biri nyin soja rol furata.
Ni mbebe lorim blakle.
I was standing with this man at the same place.
Tell us what you observed.
Fanye ite mune kite la korosir dadi.
Abri soja rol futata wolman diam.
When the soldiers arrived, they didn't talk.
Ko ali janjang.
They said, disperse.
Mol me dangu.
People didn't listen to them.
I opened fire ke manokang.
And that's the time when he shot these bullets on the road.
Kafo mimbeteng.
The crowd on the other side,
bori manokang akata.
these bullets were ricocheting from the tarmac road towards the people. It didn't wound people up who were standing up, but the wounds were on their legs. And anyone who happens to be wounded shouts. So this is how people dispersed. Because at that point, people thought that they were going to kill. So when people dispersed, the paras came back and decided to follow people into their compounds and started arresting people, and they started beating up people.
Can you kindly tell us, from the time of the soldiers' intervention
Isa fono nye wato mena sojarol na raki dabula ko nyinto.
to the time the paramilitary returned to the village?
Hani fo wato mena para la murunda nan sate okono.
Can you tell us the timeline?
Isa fono nye ila wato nyila jamfobe nyoye nyadile.
Abirin sojarol dunta mul janjanta.
When soldiers came in and this incident happened and people decided to disperse,
Sojarol ye sate le muta.
the soldiers decided to hold the whole village.
Paral nata.
Then the paras came.
So the soldiers were present in the village when the paramilitary officers returned.
Amunda sojarol nying ifana benu maberi insato nying kono jere wato mena para la murunda na.
Itole bundal muta.
Yes, they were the people who stood at the gates
Uru paral se mul soto.
so that the paramilitary will be able to lay hands on people.
So the paramilitary officers proceeded to arresting individuals from their homes.
Amunda para la narna damu ta wolto ka tenten kata mol muta kilin na ila suol fangol kono.
Ila suolu kono.
In their homes.
Oman kanya ibe moto kono ila ID card jambanjeli kar ibe arrest la.
And that's not enough. Even if you are on board a vehicle and they look at your ID card and decide and discover that you are from Jambanjeli, they will arrest you.
Did that happen on that very day?
Po keta wolun kilin nyinne la ba.
Olun kilingo e mulle arrest suol kono.
That was the very day people were arrested from their homes.
Entole arrest suol kono.
We were the people arrested from our homes.
Can you tell us how you were arrested from your home?
Ite fon kunnen sila fo isa fono commission yete muta no nyadile la suo kono.
Na suo kono na bun kono kono.
It was in my compound and in my own house where they arrested me.
Kindly tell us how you were arrested.
Fonye tenda ya fo commission ye muta no nyadile.
Mbe bun kono le.
I was in my house.
Opposite compound.
The opposite compound,
Ngamoe luntandole bije bali pakang.
I heard them beating a stranger who was lodging in the opposite compound.
Mfundita nang.
I came out of the house.
Nko nyimu luntangole te nyimangi Gambianoti.
I told them this man is a stranger. He is not even a Gambian.
Mbe sulara tolela.
Then one of them told me, oh, as far as you are a Gambian, you are the people we need.
Nko e komfele.
I said to them, well, look at me. That's me.
Jasim boida.
That was the time when they kicked my legs under me. I fell down.
Chika embula ni moto kono.
They just took me up and put me on board a vehicle.
Ye moto balo ni na kaburu koto.
A truck was parked at the cemetery.
Nemi muta elipa.
If anyone is caught, they will beat you.
Ye osamba ya park moto ba kono.
They will take you, after beating you, they will take you and put you on board that vehicle.
Ni moto ba fada.
And if that vehicle is filled,
Ye nsamba Brikama station.
they take us to the Brikama station.
Can you tell us how they identified the people that were to be arrested on that particular day?
Silang fo isa fono commission itol ye munta man resifa nyadi lelta pour ka mol muta men ya lonko ye wollal muta wolungo nyinde ka long.
Ikadun kordale kono ye mo moje je kele miti be sambala.
They just go into the compound, and any person they see in the compound, you are a male, they will take you away.
E balu dinni wolo ke bele muta.
They didn't distinguish whether you are a young man or an old man, anyone, a male, they will take you away.
Because sate bele dabije.
Because they said the whole village is part of the problem.
Mr. Sama, can you tell us where you were when this mass arrest was going on in the village?
Mr. Stamba silang fo ita fanan sa fono commission ita benu minto le birin nyim muta jawo be kerin sa to nyin kono.
Mbe sate o kono.
I was inside the village.
Antung kabiring sojarol ye dula mutafo marseto.
Because when the soldiers decided to stand guard at different places up to the market,
Sate o nyin karado moldol be tengma fangola.
on the other side of the village,
A modol be sate o karadola.
and there were other people also on the other side of the village.
Militairol be tema.
And the soldiers were in between.
Because ntelemu sate la nyati.
Because I happen to be the eyes of the village.
Mbe loring tema je minul yabe teng nke crossindi.
I was standing in the middle. So those who were living on the other side, I usually take them across.
Cross. fo kabirin alansaro tambeta
until after the 5 o'clock prayers, after Maghrib.
seita suwokon
I went home.
You were not arrested on that day, correct?
ite imede muta olungo nyin kodi
hani
No, I was not arrested on that day.
Mr. Bayo, you told us that after arresting someone,
Mr. Bayo ye info janko biri ye modo muta
they will take you close to where the graveyard is
ni ye momo morondi muta ike muta le yesamba kaburo bala
and beat you up.
yandu ye lipaje
Can you tell us how this was done?
pesa fono hanin kabi commission nyinka ke nyaadi le
ila moto min ke mol samba ya londi woldo
They parked the truck at the cemetery. That's the truck which took people away.
because boholo bi je ma fangol
Because that's where the borehole is also located.
boholo mi problem on nati abe kaburu ko le bala
The borehole which brought all this problem is next to the cemetery.
e moto londi jele to
That's where they parked this truck.
to ni mi muta sate kono
Anyone they get hold of in the village,
ike bulandi moto niwol kono ye samba ji
they will put you on board the smaller vehicle and take you to the truck.
ni moto ba fata
When the truck gets filled up,
en samba Brikama station
they will go to the Brikama station.
You mentioned earlier that you were beaten before you were taken on board the truck.
ya fonun koman to jang yete fanan lipale janni be sambala moto nyin kono
bagede
Seriously.
Can you tell us how you were being beaten?
pesa fono hanin kabi commission yete lipa nyaadi le
ike landi duma e bulol muta e singol muta
They will put you down on the ground, some will hold your legs, others will hold your hands, and they will beat you very seriously with the baton until you yourself will know that they have dealt with me.
ni e samba moto kono e ka sobjule e ka tenkunne
The moment they take you to the vehicle, you have to subdue, you will have to calm down.
And you said that the individuals that were arrested were a mix of both young and old.
ye info hanin kabi mol me alon ko ye wollel muta mol me alon ko dindingol beje ke bal beje
nim fama ente natal muta nyola
I was arrested along with this man's father.
That is Mr. Dabo's father.
wala Mr. Dabo di kodi ya fama
Dabo.
Yes, it is Mr. Dabo's father. Yes.
Mr. Dabo, can you tell us how old your father was at that time?
Mr. Dabo faisa fono commission hanin kabi te fama o wato la sanji obe sanji jellen wo wato
o ato safuno se abe 70 to 80
I can say that at that time he will be between 70 towards 80 years.
Mr. Bayo, can you tell us if Mr. Dabo's father was subjected to the same treatment as you before being taken on board the truck?
Mr. Bayo faisa fono hanin kabi commission Mr. Dabo fama fo hanin kabi ada fana maranya e men kela fo maranya kilo nyim fana yola kala bambiri asamba umuro nyi
the same thing because i kai bula moto kono ako ente ke baba ambita amina dinni wala ko alkande ke baba blandi moto kono
The same thing happened to him because when they told him to board the vehicle, he told them, I am an old man. This thing was caused by the youth of the village. I am an old man. What am I going to do in the vehicle?
nta fan ko ni munna on kulle dal ni bula ni ke baba se ma be ni ko kono ente fan fadilin da to fo yelo boda
I told them, this man is my uncle. He is an old man. He is not part of the whole thing. Why do you want to take him away? That was the time when someone hit me on my mouth until my mouth started bleeding.
Did they do anything to the old man at that point?
wato la fo kusoton dala ba ye men ke o ke bala ba
ko ni e dundi moto kono e ke landile ka dori kam
When they take you and put you on board the vehicle,
nimbe futala kata moto bato
they will put you on board the vehicle and make you lie down, and they will start trotting on you. They will stand on you.
emo compromise dindi emo compromise ke bay
They don't check whether he's an old man or a young man. They don't look at that.
You mentioned that you were stretched and flogged.
ye info janko ko ye landi duma la ko anu inare ne kon ima ye konkon
yen konkon fom fon ya lon ko yen konkon
They beat me up to the point that, sorry, I knew that they really dealt with me.
Can you tell us if the old man was also beaten in the same manner before being taken on board the truck?
Very serious.
Anin kabi foi sa fono commission yeta lipa nyame foi hari ke banyi fana lipa le nyawa jani ba bulanda nyimoro bala.
Very seriously.
Yeah, very seriously.
Can you tell us the name of this old man?
Inke banyi foi sa to fono nyela ba.
Bajau Dabo.
His name is Bajau Dabo.
Can you tell us roughly how many of you were arrested on that particular day?
Anin kabi foi sa fono nyebang wolungo nying yalto mo jellel muta.
It's too much. I cannot count it.
I cannot give you a number. It's too much. A lot of people were arrested.
Can you please give us an estimate at least?
Foi sa fono ikum fele dong.
Yeah,
Haima no nyeba.
Itila Mira Road.
Almost 50 or 40.
Almost 50 to 40 people were arrested.
Can you tell us the youngest person in your group?
Allah ka fo nyingono yaltol mem muda jumalam dindin na moti je.
Mendindi Yatali Beti.
Umar Baro, what are the school?
Omar Barrow, at that time, he was a schoolboy.
Do you know how old Umar Barrow was at that time?
Marbaro o jamano la yala na la sanji siyo be sanji jellen.
Less than 20.
He was less than 20.
And he was also subjected to the same treatment as everyone in that group.
Ando adefana o kafo mol be men lata ikanga adefana ku kilin wala lata kan.
Because Saumola.
Yes, they don't leave anybody out.
Same category.
The same thing, the same dealing.
When you were put on board this truck, can you tell us where you were taken?
Biri yal bulande nyi moroba nyi kono hanin kabi faisa fono nyi yal samba mindole.
In Samba Brikama station.
We were taken to the Brikama station.
Mr. Samba, can you tell us if you were aware of what happened to this first group of individuals that were arrested?
Mr. Samba hanin kabi faisa fono nyi laba nyi kafu folo nyi me yalon ko yewul muda. Yala ne muna ketela ba.
Ha.
Yes.
Antung kabiring ye ni minul muta sate o kono inate fi kabur koto ike lipale.
Because anyone who has been arrested inside the village, they will bring you to the cemetery, to the truck. But that's where they will deal with you, they will beat you mercilessly.
Yes, Samba Birkama station.
And afterwards, they were taken to the Brikama station.
From Birkama station, yes, Samba parala korda abato kanifing.
From the Brikama station, they were then driven to the paramilitary compound at Kanifing.
Did you do anything as a member of the VDC to prevail on the PIU to release the villagers that were being arrested?
Fo ye ku kela bantu mala men ite mu molti me yalon ko imu idabe sa to la yiri wandi ka fo committee o nyin ko ne dabe jele fo ye ku kela ban memba jela ko iba jela ko pour nyin paral ye nyin muda muda ye bula.
That was the reason why I personally, myself, I was arrested. Because we slept the following day in the morning. Somebody came to me and told me that as far as we are the eyes of this village, let's go to the Alkali. From there, we make sure that we go after our people. When we went to the Alkalo's compound, I was exchanging greetings with the Alkali. Even before explaining our reason to come there, the vehicle, the paramilitary arrived with their vehicle.
Can you tell us the name of the Alcalo during that period?
His name is Nuhajame, and he is still the Alkali of the village.
And this occurred on the second day?
Yes, this was the second day.
Can you tell us, Mr. Bayo, if anything happened while you were detained at the police station on the first day?
Mr. Bayo, foi hanin kabi foi sa fono nyela ban fo ku ketala bang ila jele bang me ya lonko wato men nalbe Morocco no police station do Brikama dum foloni.
Kabrim furata je mol siata police will bolta responsibility la le.
When we reached Brikama police station, people were so much that the police decided to abandon their responsibilities. Then that's the time when they told the paramilitary officers to take us away from the police station and take us to their camp.
Troko nati na ikansori je ko boto ensamba.
That was the time when they brought a truck and we were bundled inside the truck like bags and they took us away.
Kampoto kanivila o kampoto ngo filo jele.
When we reached Kanifing, their camp, there is a field,
Omenjang yenjurumu jang.
just an open place, just like this place. That's where we were dumped.
Iditiyo sitting anin sirang.
A gunman will sit down on the other side with his gun,
Iditiyo sijan anin sirang.
and another gunman will sit down somewhere,
Do sijan anin sirang.
and another person with a gun will sit on the other side.
Around wale nyama embula tema.
This is how we were surrounded, and we were in their middle.
Ko alila
They said to us to lie down.
katamang kang.
And that's the time when they started walking on our bodies.
E dong kang.
And some of them were even dancing on us.
E pipe o samba ya fix pompoto.
They decided to bring a hose pipe and fixed it
O sumi ya kono.
on the tub, and it coincided with the cold
Jibo wale
season.
nyama fwe sinang.
And they started throwing water on us until we were all wet.
With serious beating.
We went along with serious beatings
3 days.
for 3 good days.
Ko wale ken naje.
This is what they do to us.
Can you tell us what they used to beat you with?
Faisa fono nye ke muna fandi muna la ka lipa menna.
Ila o batino.
The battens they had.
E jibo nyawnya niye fadi balo kajale.
Sorry. Even if they put water on you, the moment they arrive and start beating you with that baton, immediately your body will dry up.
And that happened to you on the first night.
Ando ketela nyin suda lung folola.
And second day and third day.
It happened to me on the second day also, and also on the third day.
Mr. Dabo, you were not present on the day that Mr. Bayo was arrested.
Mr. Dabo ite mandanu mabirin je lum folo me yalon ko Mr. Bayo nyol muta.
Can you tell us when you arrived at the village, what happened?
Silam faisa fono nye muna nata na ke biri furata sate wonyinto.
Nte mbe do kula nyinko amante tara sate kon.
As for me, I was at my workplace when this thing happened. I was not in the village at the time.
Around 3 to 4 na having a call sort of from my Kabom farmer.
Around 3 to 4, my father called me.
Akone mbinala nga mano sanna nyola bantal mbije tilikilin tabiro lebije.
He told me to buy rice when I was coming because the rice left at home is only for 1 day.
Olu nada overtime of sort of 2 hours when summer for 7 o'clock.
And on that day, we had to work for overtime, which went on until 7 o'clock.
Kabiru was 7 jita don tara KMC amano sanje nata nga moto batun that.
So when I closed around 7, I went to KMC, I bought some rice, and I came and waited for the vehicle, and I went home. When I arrived at Brikama, it was after 7 o'clock prayers. When I reached Brikama, I boarded another vehicle there and went to Jambanjili.
It's around 8 o'clock.
That was around 8 at night. When I was inside this vehicle, that's where a lady informed me that there is fighting going on inside Jambanjeli because the paramilitary are fighting with the villagers. Yes, because after that, when they first informed me, I told them that I wasn't coming there. Because trouble, when it starts, nobody knows where it will end. It might bring further problems for you. So when I reached the village, I went to my home. So when I asked for my father, they told me that he went to the village to look for some boys whom he will work with, because usually he sells yams and oranges,
na karoso yiti eta duno kama wulo kon
so that they will come and take a donkey cart and go to collect these things from the bush.
ko nya han sai majere ya je so kuta sai han sai maje atarawol fama ma kala lo
They told me now it is late since he left here. We haven't seen him. We don't know where he is. So that's the situation. But the people in the compound weren't aware that he has been arrested.
sai ngalla fo somo
So we spent the night there till the following morning.
anayin famo dun kata do kola
I wore my uniform to go to work.
frara birka mai ko ID card
When I reached Brikama, they asked me my ID card.
yen jindi wolde ko min bo mo bote jammanjel be jijang
So that's where they made us alight the vehicle. They said any person who comes from Jambanjeli, you will alight here.
ni ko be diamole ko man jar ko man sula mola diamole man
If you want to talk, they will tell you that we don't want to hear anyone talking.
dal wo moto ko no about 5 to 6 people min jindi woto
About 5 to 6 of us were made to alight from that vehicle.
in samba selo kono birkama station
And we were taken to the cells inside the Brikama police station.
so the whole day be arresting dona moto nata ibota jammanjel ike samananjel
The whole day they went on arresting people. Every vehicle which comes from Jambanjeli, they will go to the vehicle and make sure that any person from Jambanjeli will be arrested.
No questions were asked.
ibuka hani nyini nkara fonke
no
No.
And the only thing that they needed was that the person was from Jambanjeli.
munda tol sura men bela wala nyindi ko momo yaron ko ibora jambanjel ron
ah
Yes.
Mr. Samba,
Mr. Stamba
you did mention that you were also arrested on the second day.
ya fo jango ifana ye mutale lungo fulanjango nyi
You were arrested because you went to inquire about the people, the individuals that were arrested on the first day.
yete muta dalilo men ga wala nyindi ko lungo samo nyi lummen na ite fanan tara je pour ka nyini karo ke lam mol la me an ko yewlo muta lum folo nyinna
Yes.
Can you tell us roughly how many of you were arrested on that day?
fo isa fo no nyi yaldo mo jelle muta lungo nyi
wolungo kabirin toltata alkalo ya paral nata imandi ya mafa ko nyele ron albula moto kono mbula moto kono
That day when we went to talk to the alkali and the military officers arrived there, they didn't tell us anything. They didn't talk. They just told us to board the vehicle.
kabirin mbula moto kono I raunta sate o kono
When we boarded the vehicle, they went round the village.
kambano ye woje dawo darron e ko bayndele
Any young man they set eyes on, they will run after you to pick you up.
anu niye mutar ron moto kono le
And the moment they catch you, they bring you inside the vehicle.
ndol mo tanni woro yen tolle muta nyola wolun kan samba birkama
16 of us were arrested on that day and taken to Brikama.
anu yembe ke sel ke lingole kono
And we were all put in one cell.
Can you tell us the age categories of the individuals that were arrested with you?
yete ni men muta nyola fo isa fo no nyi ila sanji siol be sanji jelle be nyono wanyadi la
bambo sise wobe nun sanji tanni woro le
Bambo Sise was 16 years old.
yo student do fanam bi nun je wo man tambi sanji tanni lulu tanni woro la
There was another student who will be around 15 to 16 years.
andon malamin baji fanan wo be sanji tan woro wala nim fe
And Malamin Baji will be around 70 something years.
so itol wo ka ibuka nyala tombom
Well, they don't look for anything. They just pick up people.
ka cikale royena
And anyone they set eyes on a male, they'll pick you up.
So you were arrested along with some minors who you said were students.
munda yete ni dinningol le muta nyola me alon ko ko mu karamudo dinningol le
ha karamuto dindingol le
Yes, they were students.
This incident, that is the incident leading to your arrest, occurred on the 15th of December, correct?
nyin ko nyin men narana men sababu dalla mutola iko aketa december karoti tan ani lulle kodi
Yes.
akuma sta 14th le kata 15
It started on the 14th and towards the 15th.
When you arrived at the police station,
bri fura police station oto
Were you informed of the reason for your arrest?
fo ya fo ene dalilo me ya sabu ye tafana muta ba
ani
No.
hanin tol fango janni batala yen dundi selol kono le kabirim ibe mfuntinde la kanket roko kono le yen tol safe.
Well, when we arrived at the station, we were all put inside the cell. And later on, it was later on that we were brought out, our names, our details were taken, then we were put on board a truck.
Were you charged with any offense
Wait,
when you
to me-
arrived at the station?
bari fu da police station ota ye tumir de kan dala ban ka fo yen luwa tinya wala ya sabu ngi muta ba
Hani
No.
How about you, Mr. Bajo? Were you charged with any particular offense when you were taken to the police station?
Mr. Bayo ita dum fanan dum fo ye tumir de kan dala ban biri ye samba police station ota ban
hani
No.
Were you told the reason why you were arrested when you arrived at the station?
fo ya fo ene dalilo me ya sabu ye muta ban biri fu da police station ota ban
ko tolle ka parali kelendi
What they told us was that you are the people who decided to fight the paras.
ko ka parali kelendi nyandi yemuneke
I said to them, how? How to fight with the paras? How? What has they done?
ko be wole fola
They said to me, is that what you are going to say?
that is slap
Then I got a slap for that.
follow statement
That's the statement.
The slap was the statement and nothing else.
lu fado nyi wala ka ke kuma kan wani
wala mkuma kamati
Slap was the statement.
And I assume that they did not take any statement from any of you on that particular day.
wodo be nyi mira la mutala ko wodo hanin altulum kono je moto je me yalon ko yala kuma kan ota anin safirota
aman soto
No, that didn't happen.
Who was the head of the station? That's Brikama police station at that
o
time.
jamano la jumala munum birgama police station na nyaton ko ti ni yala
ndema wala wato
I don't know the person. I didn't at that
bos wato
time.
mo nya soto
Because at that time I didn't even think about that.
yeah
Mr. Sambi, you raised your hand. Can you kindly answer the
Mr.
question?
Samba ye bulo wulindi le fo so nyi ngaro jabino le ba
jawolem
It was Jao,
Ibrahima Jawo
Ibrahim Jao.
ate fango le ente fango arrest.
He was the person in particular who arrested me.
Mr. Dabo,
stadabo
you were going to work when you were arrested.
te bita kan dum do ko la
Other
briye
people.
muta briye muta moto kono
Yes.
Can you tell us roughly how many people they arrested on that particular day that they were telling people to alight from the vehicle, then arrest them?
silam fo isa fo no commission o lungo nyi lungo men ya lon ko yalla moto londi ka fo ale jina yalto mo jellel muta o moto nyi kono
kapirin somanda for around 5 o siata mo tan sabani fendi
They started that in the morning, up to 5. I think the people arrested were more than 30 people.
so kapirin wularo inara troko le fe mbe bulando den samba PIU
So in the evening, they brought a truck where we all boarded, and then we were taken to the PIU headquarters.
no troko fandile
And the truck was filled up.
Can you tell us roughly the age range of the individuals that were arrested with you?
ite yere ni mol mel muta nyola fo isa fo no nyela sanji siol nyimbe sanji be tar la jelle la sanjo sanji siol be sanji tar la sanji jelle
modol bije wolye wato wol siata tan tan nanti
Some were above 40 years,
some around 50
some were around 50 years,
some are 30
some were 30.
didn't only kebalong
It was a mix-up, young and old people.
Mr. Samba told us that in his batch there were some minors that were arrested.
sa samba ya nyim fanya jan ya tan men muta nyola dolbe je dinni ngol le me an ko yewul fana muta
In your own batch, were there any minors that were arrested with you?
ite hanin ka be dabo ite la mol kono yete ni men muta nyola hanin ka be dinni ngol be je le ba
dindi na mal bi jelde min yalon koy be sanji tan sabay dumala maybe 25 26
Yes, there were young people who were around 25, 26 years of age.
You were also taken. You were taken directly to the PIU headquarters, correct?
mun da yede fana tentendi wala nyama ye samba para la korda baro kodi
Can you tell us what happened when you arrived at the PIU headquarters?
hanin han ka bisa fo no commission e mun na tana ke bri ni ye futandi para la korda baro
abin futare je yembe jindi
When we arrived, we were all made to alight from the vehicle.
Na mo ñol taraje ñun jambanjel ko bebe sirin luote je tilo kono.
We met other people from Jambanjeli who were made to sit down in this open field under the sun.
En samba en sindi feje bebe sirin je.
And we were also made to sit down with them.
Mbe siri woltara na pabi be ila jimma ya sirin je ay kumante.
That's where I was sitting until my father, who was sitting under the veranda, saw me and called me.
Can you tell us the state your father was in when you saw him?
Han kabi foi sa fono nye ifa ma biri nyaaya je abe mu alhala nyaadi la tonu biri te nyaaya je.
Abe siri la office dal do jimma je.
He was sitting
Nyabe tilendi na jang.
at the door of their office under the veranda, and he was facing to us. He was facing us.
Did you observe anything about him that was peculiar?
Foi kusura la bay men korosi ato ba me alonko ku kutala mu ato men findita balaba.
Mo ko ba na be jam fari ñol ñam mo ko because ay kumanda man ko ay kumanda tatin dam kala.
Well, we were far from each other. I didn't scrutinize him because there was a distance between me and him. He just called me, then I turned, I looked at him, I realized that I recognized him, but I didn't go to where he was sitting down.
And that was the first time you noticed that he too was arrested?
Jetom ya long wati follow me ya long ko atafana muketa molde me ko ya mudale.
Areso ngo lom birikama mole afunya birikama ko ifama fana ya tendendeli kuni militate ya ni wala sambanyol.
I heard about his arrest in Brikama. Somebody told me that he was arrested the day before, on the first day, and he was taken away with the people who were arrested on that first day. I heard that in Brikama.
Mr. Dabo, you told us that upon arrival at the Brikama police station, you were taken on board a truck.
Mr. Dabo info janko biri fureta Brikama police station orong ye samba ke tenten ke bulandi moroba kono.
Can you tell us where you were taken?
Pesa fono nye ye samba mintole.
Kabe ularo troko nate kombe findi. Ye molbe to safi.
Well, that evening when the truck came, they told us all to go out, and our names were written down.
My apologies, I had a little bit of a mix-up there. The question was actually directed to Mr. Samba.
Mr. Samba nyini ngaro nyi muitelati. Biring fureta police station ore ko ye tenten ye bulandi moroba nyi kono. Ye samba mintole.
Yen samba PI ula headquarters le.
We were taken to the PIU headquarters.
How about the minors that were with you?
Indindina moldung meni be nyokandu.
Yembe samba dula kilinne.
We were all taken to one place.
Kabiring Ibn Sambala mile tule yetol samba Joshua.
When we were being taken to mile 2, that's the time when they were taken to Joshua.
So all three groups converged at the PIU headquarters.
Munda alto nyin kafusa bol be yalto muta mol nyingal be benta para la kordabar.
Mbe yembe jurumudula kilinne.
We were all dumped at the same place, at one place.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chair, I just noticed that it's already 1.5 hours, so this will be a safe time to take a break, and then when we resume, we'll continue with their testimonies.
Nsi lojang ngatan dahari ngola nimurunda nansi tenteng zedandirola.
Thank you, Council. Yeah, thank you, Council. We'll take a 30-minute break and come back at 1 o'clock. Thank you. Meeting is adjourned.
Assalamualaikum. Defuñ nak lu dul rek demal lañ ba Austria jëndal lañ jes na fam gëna piré jes na bi gëna ndaanaale ci jes na yi ñu naan ko Magnum XL ak Magnum Air in fact Magnum Air sax dafa génnangut waaye da ngeen ko dégg ci kanam tuuti rek moom laa leen indil waa Gambie xam ngeen ne yebuma leen xeebuma leen te duma leen fontoo man yéen laay bégee xangañ loolu lañ nama nag ma indil lañ mu ngi nii loolu lañ nama ci jes na rek xolo boo lañ nama ak design boo lañ nama rek egsi na manaan lañ nag egsi lañ mu ngi nii skincare plus laati de xam ngeen ne rek suñ plus yi comes in so many different ways our musical ma tuuti xangañ waaw man seen bëggee la maa gaañ de xangañ waaw Skincare Plus of the Gambia niñ leen ko tàmmoo di defalee rek mun ngeen ñoo jot ci number yi bu dee Gambia fii la call lañu si 3699137 bu dee yaa nga United States nag call ñu si 347-731-0071 te naan lañ nag suñ contract bi DHL mu nga fam ne woon ba léegi foo nekk ci àddina rek boo ñu ne ring ñu jaay la paagal la ba pare yónnee la ko ci ak nu mu gën a yombee xam nga rek fañ ne woon fala ba léegi number si naka la 347-731-0071 mooy United States suñ number bi fii locally fii ci Gambia fii mooy 3699137 te naan la ngeen number yëpp a ngi WhatsApp boo ñuy call dañu am noonu rek la nag waaw
namoon naa leen danoo gëj a gisee lool namoon naa leen danoo gëj a gisee lool mbaam du ca dee doomi mbaam du ca dee